Welcome back. So many of us are doing a lot of our work and school from home now, and you've likely been on at least a few Zoom calls, maybe for a cocktail hour, or you're talking to the boss, or maybe your employees. Well, we're talking etiquette this morning and how to really bring your A game. Brent Schlenker this morning. He's an expert in online etiquette. Good morning to you, Brent. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you. Okay, so give us an idea of what's your first go-to tip for those of us who are just now really gearing up for some of these Zoom meetings?
Yeah, well, I'm not actually an etiquette expert, but I have been doing online learning and educating and teaching for a really, really long time, and in helping folks to figure it out. And ever since the technology came online, we've been trying to figure out what's the best way to have conversations and to learn and to deal with it. And I think the best tip for folks is to not forget about the old rules. They all still apply. All etiquette still applies online. Being nice, listening, asking questions, and not not treating it as something different, right? I think the rules of etiquette still apply whether you're online or talking to somebody face to face. The technology just helps us be face to face when we're apart.
You know, what I've noticed is that things can get very chaotic very quickly. How do you pull the reins back when things kind of look a bit out of control?
Yeah, so a lot of times there always has to be one person who is sort of responsible, right? And I think in some of the best meetings that you've had face to face, there's always one person that has called the meeting, right? Or is in charge of the meeting or responsible for it. Same applies to a Zoom meeting. If you're having a team meeting with the office, or whether you're teaching a class or, whatever the reason is that you've brought people together online, there's normally one person that kind of comes with the agenda. And from a business perspective, if you're doing this working from home, you should still have an agenda. You should still do the things that you do to have an effective meeting in an office. Do the same things online, because that helps keep everybody structured and in place and walking through that process and knowing what goals you're trying to get and why everybody's there.
It does bring you down to basics, Brent. I think I teach a class at Arizona State University, and right now, as most universities around the world, in fact, we're all digital. So my class is held on Zoom. But what I've noticed in my experience is that in general communication with friends and family, you have to be a really good listener, but more so on Zoom, because there's a bit of a delay, or you have to wait to see what's being asked as opposed to having that face-to-face conversation or interaction.
And that's something that everybody just sort of gets used to over time, right? Like, I think, one of the things that could be helpful for a lot of folks that are really new to it is to just practice. Like anything else, you really do just get into a meeting with a bunch of friends and have that conversation and get used to that lag, and also learn the mute button. Everybody should get comfortable muting when the dog starts barking, if you're on a walk.
Yes.
And you're using your mobile device to be on a call and it's windy out, your microphone is picking that up and everybody can hear the and everything that's going on. And so you want to hit that mute button and just unmute yourself when you're the one talking, but everybody else should be muted. And that is probably the key tip of the day, is to, make sure that you make the experience enjoyable for everyone and practice.
All right. I like that idea. Practice. Maybe do that online happy hour with friends on Zoom. Brent Schlenker on this Friday, online expert there. Thank you so much, Brent. Good to see you. Be safe and be healthy, and we'll talk to you soon.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brent. Troy, I think so. You've seen people do all these happy hours on Zoom. My girlfriends and I had one early on, and everybody's holding their martini or a glass of Prosecco, and you're just sharing.
I'm turning my Zoom off. That was my third Zoom meeting, and it was the best one yet.